Ooh, what is this? Check out these feathers. Something big died over here, y'all. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do, guys, going back into Stealth Ninja mode, I'm going to switch to a plastic worm for a little bit. I think I can fish that over here. Might produce some good results. Alright guys, I'm tying on a Zoom trick worm. I'm going to go toss it down here. I'll be in ninja mode, sneaking up on them. They won't know what hit them. This is a smaller hook I use. It'll still catch them. I use the smallest hook I can. I want the bait to be as natural as possible. It'd be great if I could just throw the worm in there with no hook and no line, but that won't really work. I'm gonna bury that tip a little bit. Probably won't stay like that very long. Alright guys, I'm gonna sneak down here, stealth mode. I'm gonna start fishing way back here. It's tough to do it, but see, I can already see some little things skirting around as soon as I get close to the edge. So I'm gonna start back here. Might be a bass hanging out right in this area. I don't want him to see me. So one more probe from far back here. I'm just looking. Is there anything right there? That's what I want to know before I move up too close. So I don't see anything real close. So now I can move on down. And this will allow me to get the bait out a little bit further, which where I think the fish are. So I'm using this clear blue fluorescent line. It shows up real nice in the sunlight. It kind of glows. I don't think it affects the fish's ability to see it, especially in this stained water. But what I'm going to do, when I throw this worm out there, I'm going to let it fall on a slack line. And I'm watching that line the entire time. I'm feeling with my rod tip, feeling for a bump, but I'm also watching that line, laser focused on it. because that'll tell you if you got a fish. A lot of the times you won't feel it, but if you watch your line, you'll see your line go boop, just tick. Or sometimes it's falling and your line will start moving sideways. Sometimes if you know you're throwing it in the water just 3, 4, 5 feet deep and it drops about a foot and stops, that's a good indication you might have a fish. Also, watch how I throw this. I'm doing an underhand cast. I want the bait to drop in the water with as little splash as possible. Very light entry. I don't want to alert the fish that, hey, something weird just happened. I want the fish to think this thing just kind of fell out of the bushes, fell off the grass. Basically the bass thinks whatever this is, it just made a huge mistake and he's about to get fed. I don't see much happening back in this really shallow area, so let's move around. Dude, look at this thing. Holy smokes, what is this thing? Hey, if anybody knows what type of feathers these are, put a comment down below. I'm not up on my bird feathers and stuff. I'm not sure if this is a turkey. What is this thing? I don't want to touch it. I don't want to get stuff all over my hands. It's weird. It's like something was eating an animal and then something ate the bird eating the animal. If you know what it is, let me know. Be curious to know. Alrighty. I'm not too worried. I'm not going to stand back here. It's real shallow right here. I can look and I can tell there's no fish in this area. Okay, but you see where the grass ends, gets deeper. I put money. I know there's a fish right in this pocket. I know there's a fish. Put money on it. Whether or not I'll catch it and know it's there or not. But that's just a super awesome ambush spot, spawn spot. Just about the bassiest spot you could probably find. Let's catch it. Watching that line. I got the line is completely slack laying on the water. Letting it fall straight down. I'm dragging it over some weeds and I'm gonna let it fall straight down again. Watching that line. Oh, there it is. Looks like a little male. Like he was in there making this little spawning bed for his girlfriend that's going to come along here in a little while. Just a little guy. Well, that bass was exactly where I expected him to be. I'm glad I was able to catch him. Definitely looked like a male. I was hoping to come out here and get the females, the big mamas. Maybe they're up a little ways, not back in the spawn and bed yet, but up there thinking about it. And I'm making my way up there, so we'll find out here in a minute. Very nice, small little fish, but hey, fun to catch. Whew. Well, I think, oh yeah, I gotta retie this, y'all. So I felt my line, took my hand, I ran it down the line, and I could feel some nicks. Retie, people. You know, I heard somebody tell me one time, a fish of a lifetime only comes once in a lifetime. You gotta be ready for it. You need to have your gear ready for it. You need to have fresh line. You need to have a good notch. You need to not have any nicks. You need to have your drag set right. You need to be using the right line. You know, you gotta think about all that stuff. But it's fun. It's fun figuring all that out. So when this worm goes in and it's dropping in the water, it's kind of falling like this. And this back tail back there is just wiggling like that. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Drives them nuts. See that wormy looking thing? Alright, I've been probing real close to the weed line here. Not much happening. So I'm actually going to go all the way across this little pocket with this worm. Oh! Oh, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Nice little pond bass. So that bass right there told me a lot. Drop my pliers in the water. Like I said, a lot of times I'll catch bass and they'll be right up on the edge. Didn't get any bites. Threw it out kind of in the middle. You know, it's gonna be real shallow out there. Plenty of cover, probably some spawning beds. That was a nice little fish.